Yes, we did. We did. That's another way to think about it. We did. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally, and we do that by buying treasury bills. That actually increases the money supply.
Financial Turmoil Explained.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this Monday, the 25th of April, 2022. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. You know, we got a lot of problems going on in the world right now. Like I was doing shows with food distribution, warehouses are burning down. We got a war that's going on that could drag out for gosh knows how long, and this is forcing the countries to increase their defense budgets. And of course, what they're doing is they're putting more money into the military and creating newer, better weapon systems, and they already have these weapons are already way over what they need to absolutely destroy the earth, you know. And we have food shortages possibly coming. We have weather problems, weather-related problems and issues. But we have isolated communities and stuff where it seems like the world is going along like it's always went along. We've got a world's financial system that's on the brink of chaos. And in fact, it's never been easier for me to forecast what's going to happen in the markets as right now. It's a no-brainer. The Fed is just going to keep putting the pedal to the metal to try to fight so-called this dragon. They're like Sir Lancelot trying to fight the dragon, you know. But this dragon called inflation. And they're going to keep tightening monetary conditions. And it's just very simple. The market's going to keep turning downwards. We're not going to see, how can we ever see some sort of a rally or something in conditions like these? It's just going to be a downward spiral until the markets, the bond market especially, something breaks in the system, and then the Fed will change direction. But by that time, they'll have slowed the economy down sufficiently and slowed everything down sufficiently and created these problems for themselves that even though they turn things around, it's a little bit too late, you know, for everybody out here, because it's going to be really, situation is going to deteriorate in the world. And, you know, at the same time, we still got this virus out there going through the population. And yeah, it's basically, you know, ongoing thing. It's just like within the governments and everything, especially in China. It's in my mind, is kind of what's going on in China with this is absolutely absurd. But that doesn't mean that our governments over here are not have their moments as well. You know, I mean, and we gotta live through all this garbage that they throw at us. They make the rules and we got to obey. They tell us to go to war. They tell us to march to war. We got to march to war. If they tell us to do whatever, you know. But, you know, at the same time, we're all getting squeezed. And what I mean by that is our dollar ain't buying as much as it used to. And it's going to continue to decay. Our wages aren't keeping up. And, oh, my goodness, you know, across North America here, you know, people are just, a lot of people are just giving up. They're just crawling into a hole someplace and giving up. Their substance abuse is on the rise. What I'm basically saying is this is a very slow, very controlled collapse of an empire. And we're living through it right now. And yeah, it can drive people to drink. You know, it can drive people to extremes. But some people are sheltered to a certain degree from this storm, so to speak, you know. And for those ones, they might not really get a taste of this until it reaches a pinnacle, where everybody's going to get a taste of it when it reaches a pinnacle. In other words, it reaches the culmination of the problems all coming due. And how would I describe this? I don't really know how, but I'm going to get in there and I'm going to talk about the markets. We're going to open up the markets, right? And we're going to open up the charts right here. Okay, right. Come on. Video record start. There we go. Recording. Okay. Now this is kind of a little bit borderline ridiculous. but it's just a symptom of a much larger problem. And we see the silver price down 61 cents today, or 2.53% at 23.52. Now, is the silver price really down, or is this the spot price down, which is a paper short contracts? It doesn't really have to do anything much with the underlying metal. It just seems to me at a certain point they're just going to have to keep raising the premiums for the real metal. And so a silver price drop might not yield a real price drop in the real metal ultimately in the end, because they'll just work the real price with the premiums on the physical metal. Whereas this thing can do whatever it wants. I mean, they could bid this rate down to zero if they wanted to. In fact, it is all worthless already. It's all worthless paper. Once it completely disconnects from the real physical, it's worthless paper. So let's take a look now at gold. That's, to me, it's just absolutely absurd. Gold's down 35.90 at 18.96. But it's connected into what's happening. Everything's shrinking right now. And we're going to see this in the real estate markets very soon with rising mortgage rates and stuff like that. You know, I mean, your buyers are just going to dry up in the real estate market. And then the sellers, a lot of them that bought at the top of the market are going to be vacating their mortgages and stuff. I mean, the same thing that happened back in 2008. We're on the verge of a 2008 style crisis right now. Okay, cryptocurrency. We're looking at a Bitcoin price of 38,792. I'm going to tell you guys, they don't really like to get rid of their Bitcoin. Well, $39,005 right now. They like to hang on to their Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is slowly making inroads. Meanwhile, I seen an article, I think yesterday, it talked about Bitcoin is a threat or whatever to the legacy financial system. And I happen to agree, and it's going to become more and more of a threat to them because they've mismanaged their system. Bitcoin is not managed at all. It's managed by computer, and the algorithm that manages Bitcoin is practically indestructible. I mean, it is set on a certain path that you can't deviate from, if you know what I mean. Anyway, let's take a look now at Yahoo Finance, and we're going to take a look at the market itself, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It's down 238 points on the day. But I mean, how can this thing really go back up again to the higher levels when we got the Fed doing what they're doing, trying to tighten the system, especially with quantitative tightening, QT. I think it's like $90 billion a month or something they're going to suck from the system. That was the same $90 billion or $80 billion or whatever they were putting in on the other end that raised the system up. It's just a no-brainer. You pull that out, it's going to come down. Now, so it's down 238 points. It's just beginning until they relent. It's all about the Fed. They completely control the bond market and equities and completely controlled. Okay, looking at oil today, it's down $5.70. This is possibly partially due to what's going on over in China right now with the slowdown, it's artificial slowdown that's been created from all those people being locked at home, especially like in places like Shanghai. So down $5.70. Let's take a look at the MOVE index. It's 128.12. And if we take a look at it over the last year, say, you can see the trend. What? I mean, here, look, we were down at 48 back in June 10th of 2021. And look, it's just up and 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 up. And you see more volatility in it now. Look at these peaks. A peak of 140, peak of 129. We see the volatility, but we see it trending upwards. It's just going to keep trending upwards until it causes a credit crisis. Let's take a look at bonds and rates. And we're seeing bond yields on the U.S. 10-year at 2.79. Now, they fell back a little bit today, but they've been trending upwards. Let's take a look at the long-term chart on the 10-year. We'll see the trend upwards from a low. Now, from a bottom. Just a second here. We should be able to get this chart in. Okay. Let's take a look at 5 years. Yeah, well, let's take a look at all. Okay, so you can see the downward trend over the years. We're looking at 15.82, you know, back in the Paul Volcker era. And we're seeing it slowly descend down, 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 down. And then it set a bottom at about 0.65, you know, back in around 2020, you know, set a bottom. And now what we're seeing is it's trending upwards a little bit. But could this be a break in this ultimate trend line of lower and lower and lower yields? You know, if we aren't, we're at the peak. Because see this peak, we look at this peak right here and we see it goes all the way back to 2011. Okay, this trend line right here. And we see we're at the peak of what it was back in 2013, you know, and it peaked again in 2018 on this trend line, right? So what we're seeing is to deviate from this trend line and go higher, we'd have to go all the way back to 2011. And so we're at the peak of that trend line, going all the way back to 2011. So if it goes higher now, we'd have to go back earlier than 2011. We'd have to go all the way back to 2009 if it goes higher now, right? And of course, today it's not going higher. Today it's down a little bit, 2.79 on 10-year. 10 years is one we watch. Let's take a look at the U.S. dollar index at 101.7. And the dollar's been on a trend line upwards. Let's just take a look and see if we can get here on the chart. Let's take a 1 year. You can see the trend line over a year. Trend line trending upwards all year long. We were down to 89.64 there. And 5th month of 2021. Now we're all the way up to 101.7. So dollar, just like Jim Willie said years ago, dollar's going to go up, 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 and then it's going to just die. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Well, it's going to die when the Fed changes direction on all of this, which they're going to have to at a certain point, and that's going to kill the dollar. We'll catch you guys on the next show. You guys have a great day. Remember, hit that notification icon, like and subscribe. We'll catch you guys later, and have a great day. Bye-bye.